Somewhere in my late 30s, my body stopped whispering and started shouting. Sleep that used to come easy suddenly didn't. I felt puffy, inflamed, like I was carrying water weight I couldn't explain. My anxiety crept up. My patience wore thin. And the most confusing part? I had spent years building a disciplined, healthy life. The things that always worked for me just stopped working. Something had shifted, and I didn't have a name for it yet. I'm Dr. Rita, and I help women navigate perimenopause using nutrition and lifestyle, not so they white-knuckle their way through this stage, but so they can actually feel like themselves again, maybe even more vibrant than before. Let me say this clearly before I go any further. I'm not telling you to quit anything. Some of these habits I still miss. There are people who can keep doing all 5 of these things and feel completely fine, and honestly, I'm a little envious of them. Perimenopause is deeply personal. What I'm sharing is my own experiment. 5 things I pulled back on or let go of entirely, because my body kept telling me they weren't serving me anymore. This isn't just a hormonal transition. It's an identity transition too. These habits were tangled up in who I thought I was. So when your body starts talking, it's worth listening. The first thing you should let go of is cardio, for the sake of burning calories. I grew up in a running family. I was a marathon runner, a spin instructor, the girl doing 1,000-calorie YouTube workouts just to feel like I'd earned something. I loved the feeling of collapsing on the floor after a brutal session, but in my late 30s, the injuries started piling up. Stress fractures in my feet, my shins, my knees. I remember thinking, if I'm this beat up in my 30s, how am I supposed to keep moving my whole life? Around the same time, my Oura ring started showing me just how badly my sleep was suffering, and I began to wonder if the very workouts I loved were working against me. So I ran an experiment. 1 month, no cardio, just walking and lifting heavy. I told myself if I missed it, I'd go back. I never went back. My sleep improved almost immediately. My clothes fit better, my hunger leveled out, my energy came back. It's been over 4 years now, and my movement is mostly walking, heavy lifting, and whatever cardio I genuinely enjoy, hiking with my husband, biking, the occasional cross-country ski. Every now and then I'll try a short run, just to see, and 5 minutes in, my body reminds me exactly why I stopped. I look at runners with real envy, but I've changed how I think about exercise entirely. It's not punishment anymore, and it's not something I do to earn my food. It's training for the life I actually want. One where I'm on the floor with my grandkids someday, hiking with my husband for decades, still able to carry my own groceries. I want a body that lasts, not one that burns out early. If this is landing with you, a like, a subscribe, or sharing it with a friend genuinely helps other women find this during a stage that can feel so isolating and confusing. Thank you. The second thing was alcohol as a coping tool. This one's more personal. I never thought I had a problem with drinking. It was just woven into my life since childhood, tied to celebration, to relaxing, to unwinding. But in my mid-30s, I noticed something. Even 1 glass of wine would wreck my sleep. I'd fall asleep fast, then jolt awake at 2 a.m. with my heart racing, unable to drift off again. I'd wake up exhausted, not hungover, just depleted, and my cravings would spiral from there. It became this quiet, creeping cycle. I heard a line once that stuck with me. Drinking is borrowing from your tomorrow. That's exactly what it felt like, constantly paying off a debt in sleep, mood, and energy. So I pulled back slowly. No drinking midweek, then none at home, then only for special occasions. It wasn't some dramatic decision. I just stopped wanting it as much once I saw what it was costing me. Here's the part that's harder to say out loud. Alcohol was woven into my marriage too. Margaritas on Fridays, wine tastings, sharing a bottle of red, that was us for 15 years. Cutting back meant renegotiating a piece of our relationship, and honestly, we still joke about it sometimes, half laughing, half mourning it. Neither of us quit entirely. But I rarely drink now, and I've found real joy in a good mocktail or sparkling water with a splash of juice, something that still feels special, without the toll. The third thing was scrolling Instagram. Social media wasn't just a personal habit for me. It was my business. It was my top source of clients for years, which made it so much harder to walk away from. I felt this constant pressure to stay current, to know what my industry was saying, and at the same time I was drowning in curated glimpses of other people's lives, vacations, relationships, homes, that made me compare mine against theirs, even when I logically knew none of it was the full picture. And we all know the platforms reward outrage and polish over honesty. None of that was good for me anymore. I tried every trick, time limits, boundaries, but even 5 quiet minutes on there would leave a strange residue of bad energy that lingered. So about a year ago, I quit cold turkey. I buried the app so deep in my phone I could barely find it. And I told myself, don't open it. I didn't delete it, I still needed access for work, but I stopped using it. The first few days were rough. Then something amazing happened. I had more energy, more time for things I actually cared about, better sleep because I wasn't scrolling before bed, and no more FOMO clawing at me all day. I get my news on my own terms now, not force-fed to me. Yes, it's harder to stay in the loop with people. I have to be intentional now. But the people who really love me still check in, and those conversations run deeper than any common thread ever did. The fourth thing was fast fashion, buying quantity instead of quality. I was a sucker for cute, cheap pieces. The trendy hoodie, the leggings, the seasonal sweater, all influenced by what I saw scrolling. But the quality was often terrible. Things would pill, rip, or just feel wrong 6 months later, and I'd end up tossing them. That's not just wasteful for the planet, it made me genuinely angry, watching money and closet space disappear into clothes that didn't last. Now I lean into secondhand shopping through sites like Mercari and Poshmark because there is so much beautiful, barely worn clothing already out there. I've also started renting for one-off events instead of buying a dress I'll wear once and never again. Wearing things I actually love, that are made well, changes how I carry myself day to day. And the fifth thing was cheat days. The nutrition culture of my 20s glorified them. Restrict all week, then binge on the weekend to spark your metabolism. I lived that cycle for years, rigid, disciplined, not a single bite off plan, and then total chaos on weekends, followed by gut issues and days of feeling awful. Restrict, binge, guilt, repeat. I can't believe how many years I spent inside that loop. Now, through tracking, I've built a genuinely balanced relationship with food. Nothing is off limits, so nothing triggers a spiral. If a meal isn't the most nutritious, I don't write off the whole day, I just look forward to feeling better at the next meal. Removing restriction removed the urge to binge, and it's made travel, holidays, and time with family so much lighter and less stressful around food. So there they are, 5 things that weren't serving me anymore, and letting them go changed how I feel every single day. Some of these might feel small to you, or maybe you already ditched them years ago, and that's completely fine. This is just my experience, offered in case it sparks something for you. I'd genuinely love to hear if any of these resonated, or if there's something you've quietly quit because your body asked you to. You've got this, and I'm right here with you, every step of the way.